What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I want to talk about some breaking news, Atlanta Falcons news. Also talk about a player that we may think about signing in free agency. And also a player that we might end up drafting, or we should think about drafting in this upcoming NFL draft. But with that being said, as always, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content. Hit that like button. I appreciate all of the new subscribers and everyone who continues to support the channel. Continue to share out this content to all of your Atlanta Falcons friends, the Facebook groups that you're in. Definitely share this out on Twitter. If you would like to follow your boy on Twitter, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. But I appreciate every single one of you guys. And as always, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. So breaking news came through about an hour ago, 30 minutes ago. Keith Smith, the fullback of the Atlanta Falcons, has re-signed a 3-year extension with our Atlanta Falcons. I love this move of bringing in Keith Smith. So great job. Hats off to Rich McKay and Thomas Dimitroff on re-signing Keith Smith. He is an asset to this football team, a very physical fullback. Did a great job of playing special teams for our Atlanta Falcons last year. Did a great job of causing fumbles, forcing fumbles on kickoff returns, and also did a good job of leading the way for Devontae Freeman and Ito Smith and all of those guys, Brian Hill. He did a good job of blocking, being very physical, going up in the hole, one-on-one with linebackers and knocking players out. So that definitely a big move by Atlanta Falcons. Definitely going to be a move in free agency that's going to be overlooked. But I definitely think that Keith Smith is an asset to our Atlanta Falcons. And I think this was the right move to bring him back. Keith Smith originally was a Dallas Cowboy before joining our team last season. And he was blocking for the likes of Zeke Elliott and some of those guys over there back in 2016 or 2016, 2017. So it definitely a great fullback. If you remember last season, we did hand him the football on a couple fullback dives later on in the season. And I definitely like this move because it shows that the Atlanta Falcons are trying to fix the running game, trying to be a more physical team, more opposing team, and picking up those short yardage downs. And Thomas Dimitroff definitely looks like he's trying to send a message to Dirk Cutter and these guys. And I'm sure Dan Quinn is behind this move as well. Dan Quinn loves to run the football. He's a defensive-minded coach, so he loves to run the football. When he was in Seattle with Beast Mode, those guys ran the football a lot and played defense. At that point, Russell Wilson hadn't developed as a great pocket passer at that point when Dan Quinn was still around with the Seattle Seahawks when they won the Super Bowl. So this is definitely a big move for our Atlanta Falcons. As I said earlier in free agency and earlier in the offseason, that we needed to be more physical, and our team needs to become a more physical team and less finesse. And we need to become a more balanced team and not pass the ball as much as we've been passing the ball and get back to being a balanced team. So teams can't just pin their ears back and get after Matt Ryan, because Matt Ryan was one of the most sacked quarterbacks last year, believe it or not. So we definitely need to do a better job of protecting Matt Ryan. And one of the ways you protect your quarterback is you run the football down the defense throat. You be physical. You allow your offensive linemen to be physical, to put their feet in the ground, put their hand in the dirt and go forward and stop going backwards every play by trying to backpedal and pass block. But allow those guys to be aggressive and be nasty and go head first, go forward and run at these defensive linemen that are trying to rush the passer. But with that being said, another player that I would like the Falcons to possibly look at bringing in free agency is Eric Ebron. Tight end, goes about 6'4", 250 pounds. He was originally drafted by the Detroit Lions. He played his first 3 or 4 seasons with them. He really didn't live up to his draft pick. I think he was a first or second round pick. And they were basically, Detroit felt that he didn't live up to his draft pick. So they went ahead and traded him to the Indianapolis Colts. And he played with them for the last 2 seasons. And now they're allowing him. It looks like they may allow him to walk in free agency. So I definitely think that he's a player that the Falcons should definitely look at bringing in to play that tight end role and fill that role of an Austin Hooper. I definitely think he can do pretty much everything Austin Hooper could do, as far as sitting down in zones, being that security blanket for Matt Ryan in the underneath patterns, and also being able to stretch the field, go vertical and stretch the seams and stuff like that. I definitely think that he's a mismatch problem because he is a tight end that can high point a football, and he's one of those physical basketball power forward type guys, long arms and very athletic. I'm not too sure if he's as quick as Austin Hooper, but Austin Hooper is not the quickest guy. So I think Eric Ebron is a little bit more athletic than the Austin Hooper type. Nothing against Austin Hooper, but we just couldn't bring him back because the money that he's about to get on in the free agent market is so high. The Falcons couldn't afford to bring everybody back. But I definitely think that Eric Ebron could be a player that could fill his shoes, like I said, and come in and fill that role of catching the ball underneath. As you know, we have some great receivers on the outside, and that only makes the tight end's job that much easier. And if Eric Ebron does join our team, he's going to see the luxury of having a Julio Jones, a Calvin Ridley on the outsides, and they'll make it very easy where he should have mismatches with linebackers and with smaller corners and safeties in one-on-one coverage. And I definitely think Eric Ebron is a player that can expose a linebacker or a corner or a safety in coverage. But with that being said, another player that I've been hearing the Falcons are maybe interested in, or is a free agent and was recently cut by the Green Bay Packers, is Jimmy Graham. He's another guy that goes about 6'5", 250, 55 pounds. Very physical guy, big, like I said, like a basketball player, like a power forward. But he's a little bit up there in age. He's actually 33, the same age as Tony Gonzalez when he joined our team. But Jimmy Graham, I wouldn't mind bringing him in if the price is right. As long as the price is not too high, being that he's an older player at this point and a little bit past his prime. I believe he does have a little bit left in the tank, and I wouldn't mind bringing him in either to join our Atlanta Falcons. He's another player that could be dangerous in the red zone and also can beat one-on-one coverage and can high point the football and can take advantage of rebounding, like boxing a corner or a linebacker out and being able to come out and catch those first downs, catch those little curl patterns or the little button hook routes. And he's a guy that's been known to catch a lot of touchdowns in the red zone. So definitely someone that could stretch the seams a little bit and can be that physical, imposing tight end for us if we are not able to bring in the likes of an Eric Ebron, who's only 26 years old, and that's like in his prime. Now, another player I've been hearing about also is Delanie Walker, tight end of the Tennessee Titans. He was also recently let go, and I think he could bring something to a team as well, give something to a team. But personally, I don't want Delanie Walker on our team unless it's for like the veteran minimum, just because he's battled some serious injuries the last 2 seasons. He's been injured a lot. And right now, I just don't want to bring in any more injury-prone players to the Falcons. We have enough players already injury-prone, like the likes of Keanu Neal, Tat McKinley, Ricardo Allen. These guys have been battling injuries the last couple seasons, and I don't want to spend the little bit of cap we have on someone that's injury-prone at this point and past his prime. I do think that Delanie Walker, if we do sign him, could be like a mentor to the younger guys. But personally, I'd rather bring in someone that I know is healthy, like the likes of a Jimmy Graham or Eric Ebron that can fill that Hooper role. I just think Delanie Walker at this point is a little bit past his prime. He's like up in his mid-30s at this point. He did play with the San Francisco 49ers for seasons, for years and years and years, when they had Vernon Davis and those guys, and the year they went to the Super Bowl. Back when we played them, I think it was like 2012, when we played those guys in that NFC Championship game. When he played, they had Navarro Bowman and those guys, and Patrick Willis, Frank Gore and that team, and Colin Kaepernick and those guys. Delanie Walker was on that team. But at this point, I just think, like I said, he's past his prime. He's just too injury prone for my liking. And I don't want us to take a chance on a player that could possibly be injured, because we have enough players that are injury prone and continue to battle injuries. So Personally, for me, it's a no for Delaney Walker, but I definitely would like us to bring in an Eric Ebron, or I could also see us signing a Jimmy Graham. With that being said, another player that I think that I would like us to go after possibly in the draft could be Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet actually played with Notre Dame in college. He had an excellent collegiate career at Notre Dame, an excellent season last season with the Fighting Irish. He goes about 6'5", 255 pounds, a very physical, imposing tight end, is a good blocker, and also can stretch the field a little bit in the seams and can catch passes underneath. He's a very big guy, puts me in the mind of a Rob Gronkowski, believe it or not. I don't know if he runs as well as Rob Gronkowski ran, because Rob Gronkowski is arguably a Hall of Famer and one of the greatest tight ends to ever play the game. But I think Cole Kmet has a lot of Rob Gronkowski attributes and features, and his game, his body type and stuff like that reminds me of a Rob Gronkowski. And I think he could also be the likes of George Kittle that plays with the 49ers. He puts me in the mind of those two guys because he's so big and so physically imposing, and much bigger than a lot of players on a football field at that 6'5", 255. So I definitely could see the Falcons maybe in the third round of the draft trying to go up and draft a Cole Kmet. It wouldn't surprise me if the Falcons were to bring him in. I definitely think that he could also come in and help this Atlanta Falcons team and fill that role of Austin Hooper. Him and Jaden Graham, the two of those guys, I think could be a good tandem where you could also run different personnels where you have multiple tight ends on the field at one time. I definitely believe that Cole Kmet is one of those guys that our Atlanta Falcons should seriously draft or seriously consider if he's still on the board when we're drafting maybe in the third round. I think he'll be around with the third round pick. If not, maybe even with our one of our second round picks, maybe we'll bring in a Cole Kmet. And that's if we don't bring in any of these guys. If we don't bring in any of these guys in free agency. But as you know, free agency is getting ready to open up next week. I'm very excited to see what direction our Atlanta Falcons are going in. I'm very excited about this evening that's here, if the CBA is going to be signed or not. I definitely think that it could be a serious chance that the players do sign that CBA. I have my fingers crossed, and hopefully they do go ahead and sign that CBA so we can go ahead and get the ball rolling in free agency and get the draft and all of this stuff going. Like I said, with that being said, though, I just want to tell you guys, with all of the stuff going on out here with the coronavirus and stuff like that, just make sure you guys are washing your hands, keeping the hand sanitizer close. Make sure you're, staying as clean as possible. Staying away from a lot of crowded areas at this point, because you never know who has the virus. Of course, you're going to have to still go to work and things of that nature, possibly go grocery shopping and stuff like that. But I would stay away from like the amusement parks and stuff like that right now. And any of these big gatherings, as you see the NFL, NBA, everyone's pretty much shut it down. MLB. So it's basically no sports right now because of this coronavirus. So I just want to tell you guys, stay safe out there. Like I say, stay hydrated. Make sure you're drinking water. Make sure you're drinking water. Make sure you're drinking Powerade, Gatorade, Propel, all of those things that's going to keep you hydrated. Make sure you guys are, if you are sick, make sure you're taking your medicines and quarantining yourselves and stuff like that, so you don't get everybody else sick, get your family sick. But as always, this been your boy Jew. That's pretty much all I have for you guys today. I'm definitely keeping my fingers crossed. You guys keep your fingers crossed that we have good news this evening about signing that CBA. But with that being said, this been your boy Jew signing out. I'll holler at you guys in the next video. As always, like I said, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. But I'll holler at you guys in the next video. All right. And as always, rise up, Falcons Nation. Peace. I'll holler at you guys in the next video.